It might seem like all fun and games, but there is definitely a dark side to living in Thailand, Pattaya especially, if you're not careful. Luckily, I'm taking care of you today. I'm gonna break it down for you so you can keep yourself out of the mess. Obviously, just like anything else in the world that's great fun or super convenient, there are things that are negative about it. Nothing's perfect, we all know that. So I'm gonna break down the real truth for you today about what can happen to you if you're not careful when you come to Thailand. So basically how this is gonna work is I'm gonna go over quite a few of the pros of living in Thailand, and we're gonna break down if they're completely based in reality, or it might just be one of those things that people put up and talk about and hype it up, but when you get here, that's actually not the case. Now, don't get me wrong, I have a laundry list of reasons why I love living in Thailand, Pattaya especially, but some of them sometimes might not be the whole truth and nothing but the truth. But today, we're gonna get rid of all that. We're gonna break it down, starting with number one. Okay, so number one, I'm sure this is a big motivator for a lot of people. I know it was for me personally, and it is that Thailand is so cheap. Okay, now don't get me wrong, if you're basing it against Western standards, yes, Thailand is cheap. Something to think about if you're planning on working in Thailand. Obviously your salary is gonna be lower, so the gap might not make as big of a difference. Now, is it cheap all the time? Yes and no, it really depends on what you're doing. I tell everybody, if you can stay out of clubs, you can stay away from the parties, things like that, if you just wanna come here, kick it on the beach, you're good to go. Super cheap, easy to find cheap food. Now, if you're trying to go to restaurants, you want to eat a lot of Western food, you want to go out and hang out with friends, you want to go to the clubs, you want to go to the bars, obviously this can get you pretty quick. So this is definitely going to tie into our last point, so make sure you stick it out through the entire video too, so you can know how to avoid this and what to avoid to make sure that your experience in Thailand is really what it can and should be. Just a quick break to say thank you to all the new viewers last month. It was a big month for us. It was the biggest month Tempus TV has had so far. So I want to just thank all you guys for that. Thank you for tuning into the videos, all the new subs. I know I've been kind of hit or miss with the content lately, but moving forward in May, this is not a thing. We are back on the daily grind. Be ready for more live streams, more videos, more content. If you'd like to see some short form stuff, go ahead, drop in the description. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff. But be ready for lots to come, and thank you guys yet again. Great month, we are on the up and up, and you guys are on the base level. I'm super excited to see where the channel goes from here, and I couldn't be more happy to have you with me. Okay, food. So we're gonna limit this to Thai food. So I'm sure you've heard Thailand has amazing food, and me personally, I would completely agree with that statement. But if at home, you might consider yourself somewhat of a finicky eater, you don't like spicy food, maybe you don't like seafood, certain things like that. If that's the case, you're gonna miss out on a lot. So if that's something that you're really thinking about, you can't wait to get here and eat the food, but you might not be necessarily super open-minded, or you might kind of be finicky about certain flavors or spice or anything like that, it's gonna change your dynamic when it comes to food here. Now, getting away from Thai food, there's great international food, especially in Pattaya and Bangkok, just because there's a lot of travelers there. So you'll have a little more options. But if you really want to get the full experience of Thai food, make sure you get street food, make sure you eat seafood, try a little bit of spice, you'll be all right, so you can get the full experience. Okay, so a big one for all my fellas out there. I'm sure it's part of the reason. If it's not, then I don't know what you're talking about, but when it comes to Thai girls. So there's a lot of misconceptions on both sides of it. So I hear all the time that every single girl, especially in Pattaya or Bangkok, every girl you meet or every girl that wants to talk to you is a working girl. If you don't know what that is, go ahead and Google it. YouTube wouldn't like if I actually break it down for you, but obviously this is not true. Now, That's not to say that you're not going to encounter girls that are out trying to make their money, so it's always good to lay your expectations out in front. But I hear all the time like, oh, well, if you want to find a wife or you want to find a girlfriend, you got to get out of Pattaya and you got to go to like find a farm girl. Obviously, that's not true. There's girls here who aren't working. There's girls here who are looking for a boyfriend, who are looking for a possible husband, and just want to take care of you. Now, Thailand definitely has a more traditional dating culture where it's more common for men to take care of women, so women can stay home and raise kids or whatever. So if that's something you're not into, obviously it might be a little bit more difficult, but if you're looking for the more traditional, relationship roles, super easy to find, and they are all over, just like anywhere else. And probably the biggest point I want to make, not necessarily a misconception because nobody really talks about it on the ladder, but I feel like nobody really talks about it, period. I've had to tell some friends of mine, I've experienced a little bit of it myself, but especially if you're coming to Pattaya, Bangkok, Phuket, any place where there's essentially a party the whole time, if you've ever been in situations in your life where it might be kind of difficult for you to say no, or you just like to go out to the point where it's maybe causing you financial troubles, you're feeling a lack in your health, whatever it may be. If this is something that you've ever experienced, I really hope you think about where you're gonna be and try to understand that it is completely different here. There's something to do all the time. There's no inclination to not go out. So if that's something, if you've ever found yourself kind of getting lost in the sauce, really think about if this is the place for you. I would never try to talk anybody out of coming to Thailand, but I've seen it firsthand. Like I said, I've experienced a little bit of it myself. If you ever feel like you might have trouble saying no, or you just easily get bored, or you have trouble being by yourself a lot of the times, really think about if this might be the place for you, and if your budget's really gonna work the way you need it to. Like we said before, Thailand's a great place. I would recommend anybody to come here if you're already thinking about it, but I hope you take some of these points into account to really give you a better idea of what to expect and what to do, maybe what not to do when you get here, so you have a really good understanding of what it's gonna be like when you actually get here. Because sometimes when you show up to places, you might be disappointed, or it might not be like what you thought in your head, and that would be a bummer. So definitely look at both sides of the story. Try not to look at all the, glitz and rainbows. Definitely check out what the reality is on both sides of it. As always, thank you for tuning in to Tempus TV. If you'd like to see more from Thailand, make sure you click on this video right here. I don't know which side it's on, I never get it right. And like we said earlier, thank you to all the new viewers on the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, go down, make sure you do that, so every time you hop on a YouTube, they know what you want to see. As always, hope you guys have a great day. We'll catch you in the next one.